Okay, hello. This is going to be my Mushi League Season 20 power rankings. I don't care to be impartial, and it's going to be a disclaimer. I think every team in the league is good enough to make playoffs, like genuinely every team has good players. In order to make good rankings, meaningful rankings, I have to nitpick over minor things, otherwise it'd be a very boring video. And for this video, the order of a team within a team is the placement of a team. So last time it was a bit different. I didn't do like that. If it says C tier this time, and then you see a team, that team is at bottom of C tier. So just bear that in mind. So going on to C tier. No, I'm just kidding. We're not at the bottom. Okay, at the bottom of C tier is the Togepi tunes. So my big gripe with this team is actually the captain pool. So apparently Uncle Jack was a good player in yesteryear, and now they've come back recently. I know as recent as Gym Invitational, and they're watching the games. They seem to know a good amount of things about the meta, and seem like a nice person. But I'm not sure how much they've actually played, which is the big issue. And at 2.3 stars, I'm sure they'll be fine for their own record. But as they play, they're going to be learning the meta again, I reckon. I could be wrong, they might already know everything, but I mean, I'm just going on a whim here. And yeah, while they're learning the tier for themselves, I don't know how much they'll be able to help their teammates. Which goes into the other captain, Incognition, who is 1 stars. Or 1 star. And it's not really a big deal because for himself, I'm sure he can get a good record from 1 star and win his way up, but as a captain, how much can he actually help his teammates with prep? That's both captains that can't, well, I think won't really help with the prep. And then you go onto the top slot. So you have Darth Tyros. I love Tyros. He's a funny guy, and he's a really nice guy. He actually has a fantastic record in Mushi overall across all the seasons. But I don't think he's top slotted before. And I do think he may struggle this season because, his predictability in the builder is, well, it's a story that's repeated itself many times. And you got Pokology as a second slot. He's a very unorthodox builder. He's maintained a high rank for quite a few seasons now, so he's clearly a solid player. And the thing is, both the top slots are, unorthodox players, so how much they can help the team as well is also questionable. It really stacks up. Adam's a solid player. I think he hasn't had the greatest runs in his ADB tours recently, but it is Mons, and I'm sure that he can turn around his luck at any time. You got Saradares, aka ADB Andy. Last season, he finally, he had his glow up. I feel like it was overdue. His first 2 seasons in Mushi, I don't think he did so great, but he had a fantastic season last season, and he was a good part of why the Wise Men ended up winning the entire tournament. Don't know too much about Roy. I know he's French. He was here at the start of Mushi League. That's what I really know. A welcome guest in BP. I know these guys play some random ass tiers. Charizard. I think they beat Evakiyama in ADVPL this year, if I'm remembering right. But it was I think they got a crit on one of the most important turns of the game. But a win's a win. DK Koba. They're a pretty nice person. They're involved with Revival. And yeah, I don't have too much to say about the ability of these players. I've seen them play, and I think if I had to guess, it'd probably go around neutral. Probably Incognition. Incognition. I think anyone who's at 1 star can, the sky's the limit for them. You can only go up a bit. But overall, yeah, I guess my big issue with this team is prep, and we'll see if that actually ends up being an issue. And then in second last place, we have the Roses. I love Rambo. He's a funny guy, but I've got some issues with his team that stick out to me quite a lot. So Kaloom and the Lion, they're both solid players. I don't know, but they're not the most active, and I don't know how much they'll help their players. It's the same theme as the Togepi tunes. I'm not sure if they'll help all that much for their teammates. And then, as soon as you get below a Lion, I think for the entire team, I don't feel like there's anyone you can confidently say will go super positive. I feel like there's a whole team of coin flips. By that I mean if you had to guess, you'd guess somewhere around neutral. I don't know too much about Vaz. I saw X-Guardian already won his game, so I'm not going to say too much because I think that's kind of cheating for a power ranking video. Rambo, he had a fantastic run in the tournament recently. I can't remember which one it was. He got top 4. Was it ADV Cup? It was ADV Cup. That's super impressive. So Rambo's improved a lot. I think he's better than 1.6 stars. Maybe he can hit 2 stars this season. That'd be a good goal for him. Ant, I think Ant's improved a lot as well. He's a lot better than 1.3 stars. And yeah, if Ant locks in, I'm sure he can get up to like 1.7, 1.8. He's a great guy. Okay, on to the next. So we're moving on to the B tier. We have the Fairies. Now Figgle and Max are very good captain core, both in terms of playing, and I'm sure they've got solid prep as well, because the Fairies did pretty good last time if I recall. And then you got Sato. Sato's one of the Mushi League GOATs. He has an insane record. He sits at 2.9 stars now, played his way all the way up to there. I think once upon a time he has 1.4 stars. I think I read that in chat earlier. But yeah, overall fantastic player, Sato. And then part of the reason why I have Fairies relatively low is because after Figgle, then you know, I feel like all the players are roughly at the price they belong at roughly. It's like Tina, Depression Cherry, you know, they're both cool, but I think realistically those prices are accurate, so you'd expect them to go roughly around neutral. I think Duke Sucks is new. I don't know too much about them. Gulliver's Travels might also be new, so I don't know too much about them either. I mean, Duke Sucks is a black and white player. JBH Max, that's Max's brother. At least he's gone positive. I think it might depend on how much Max helps him. I don't know too much about him. Shoegazes at 1 star. You can only go up from here. So you know, best of luck to you, Shoegazes. And yeah. Then we have the Trappers, led by Kiru, Dakas, and Kenny. And this team looks like it has like an insane amount of players. Like, do they have that much more? Yeah, it actually looks like a lot. Maybe the image is just bigger, but it looks like they have a fuck ton of players. So of course we have Endor, who's the strongest player in the league. Maybe not price-wise, but I think he's just the best player. We have Zerker. Zerkus is a solid player. He's maintained a fairly high rating for quite a few seasons now. But then straight after Zerkus, I think Raxius may unironically be the 3rd strongest player in the entire team. I like Raxius. I think he's a decent player and a nice chat presence, but to have Raxius as your 3rd best player, I'm not sure if that's a great sign. No offense, Raxius. And then you got Bynum, you got Rezo. Rezo went on a tear a couple seasons ago, but then he came right back down to earth. Maybe he can have another meteoric season. We'll see. Don't know too much about CC Geek. Kiru had some really entertaining games last season. He might not have won a whole bunch, but his games are great entertainment. Shiny, I love Shiny. He's a 10 out of 10 chat presence. I love him. He's improved a lot as well since I first picked him up with Jirachis. I think he was like a low 1500s player back then, and now he can play at like mid 1700s. So there's been considerable improvement for Shiny. You gotta watch out. That's my guy. Kara, I think she can do better than 1.45 stars. She's been around for quite a few years. I'm sure she can pull together a few wins this season for Kiru. Martini, don't know too much about their gameplay. I mentioned this last time. They have the worst showdown names known to man. Salmon, I don't know too much about them. I know they use that one profile picture that's the same as Otto's, and it confuses me sometimes. Kenny, I believe Kenny's 1 star. You can't see it because I accidentally put the fish in the way. Okay, it wasn't accidental. I put that fish there on purpose. But yeah, 1 stars. Blissey 2, Blissey the YouTuber. I think both Blissey and Kenny can work their way up. You know, 1 stars. Sky's the limit for you guys. And yeah, on to the next. Wait, did I even talk about? Actually, no, I did. Okay, next. We have the Wise Men. So they're not quite bottom this time. Where would this put him? Around 10th, I believe, or 9th. And my big issue with this team is that I believe the Mushi Council, overrated Genexus. They should put him to 2 stars. And then the Wise Men picked him up as his number 1 slot. I think it's a double recipe for disaster. Genexus, he's had very good runs in his the tournaments he's played so far. He's had a great start, but I don't think there was any reason for when Mushi cancelled to throw him straight into the deep end. But he's still somewhat new to the tier, I believe. I could be wrong, but I think he's still relatively new, and it would have been more fun for him, I think, if he started off at 2 stars. That's just my thought, though. On to the next, our large mongoose. He's a solid player, 2.25 stars now. He played in Invitational play-ins, and yeah, I think he's fine. Uf Maxima, he's a great guy, 2.1 stars. I think he was manually raised last season, I believe. I could be wrong. And he ended up making Invitational mains, I believe. So very well played by him. Just Leo, great Ubers player. I'm not sure if starting him off at 2 stars makes sense, or maybe he played to that. I could be wrong, but I mean he's great at Ubers. I'm sure he can learn to play OU. Buzz is a great guy, solid player. I'm sure he'll be fine. Keshpa's a solid player. I think as long as his managers stop him from playing 2 games at once. When he was on the Jirachis for 2 of his sets, he was playing ADV, OU, and SV at the same time, I believe, and he won his games as well. So if you can get him to focus, I'm sure he can be a very good player. Don't know too much about Dancing Along, but 1.9 stars. Positive record overall. Decent player. Cyberus. He's a good player, but he suffers from like serious AFK. And I actually started watching JJK after I saw his profile picture of Yuji, and I was like, oh, that looks cool. may as well watch his anime, why not? Don't know too much about Linny. Clad. I know King of Iron Frisk is facing Clad this week. Thing was, right, I've seen Clad play a few times before, and I assumed that they were a great player and whatnot. Well, not great, but like a good player. So I was a bit surprised to see their price at 1.4. But maybe this season will be their comeuppance. Spiel. Man, I hate the Spiels. But they're actually a pretty damn good team. Mayo and Evakiyama, both fantastic players. Both had very positive records last season, I believe. Both individually great. They play in ADVPL. I think they both played in China PL. I could be wrong about that one. But yeah, in terms of support and in terms of play, I think they're both very good captains. And yeah, Magi Alice is black and white player. I believe she's a friend of these two, so there's chemistry there. Lighthouses, this is Diego, the Brazilian. I think he's a Brazilian. He's a solid player. Spell, I don't know much about Spell. I don't know much about Vi. Slowpoke fan, I believe they're a Sword and Shield player. 1.8 stars. Yeah, I don't have much to say. Don't know much about Desert Pass. Don't know much about Jag. Raven Queen at 1 stars now. It's like I said before, you can only go up from there. Maybe she should start asking River for help. Okay. Oh no. But yeah, overall, I think the top half of his team is strong, and then the bottom half is just like, I don't even know. It's like, it's whatever. On to the next. The Houndoom. Now, I think in other people's PRs, they all just rated this team based off last season. I mean, they actually based it off this season, which is a bit silly from everyone. But I think this team is actually pretty damn good. Hoa F, let's start with him, because I believe he made top 4 of ADV Global Championships. And he's currently priced at 1.2. So this guy's already just a bargain for his price. For Darzi, for most teams in the league, I would just ignore coaches, because I don't think they really... Coaches in a lot of teams don't really do anything, but I think Darzi will help a lot, and I think it'll make a significant difference if he locks in. 48's a solid player. I think he's one of the weaker top slots, but he mains like I think RBY or DPP, one of the two. So the fact he's got a 3-star rating in Mushi is still pretty good. You got UDM, he's paid his way up to 2.9 stars. He's a solid player. Sharky King, he uses the most dog shit sets known to man, and he still wins. I think it really harms him in the long run, because it gives him positive reinforcement when he uses dog shit, so he'll never stop using it. Like last season, he beat Duke with Surf, Ice Beam, Hidden Power, Grass, Roar, Suicune. Like what goes through this man's mind when he does shit like that? I don't know. And then of course you got No Name, 2.2 stars. I think No Name is unironically just like the best player in the entire league when it comes to Mons, but his ADV still needs a bit of, he has to do a bit of grinding. I'm not sure he'll ever do it though. Don't have too much about Bread or Loaning. I mean, we got positive records, a bit high, but 1.5 stars. 2.15, must be a decent player. Dwarf, he won Pokemon Perfect Open 2. Anyone who can win a tournament, even if it is a smaller one, solid player. I'm sure he'll go positive this season. Bellafigo, I think they're the Italian manager for Retro Cup. Don't know too much about them, but if you're a manager, you got to be decent. Strat, this is the most Houndoom coded man possible. I'm not sure if he actually plays the tier, but he's got the Houndoom mentality. And I don't know too much about Vidal, unfortunately. 1 star. You got the world in your hands, Vidal. Go for it. Why's it not going? Oh, right. Forgot. I made the stupid fucking Houndoom spin in the corner. Then we have the New York Psychic Guardians. I think Jumpy is the second best top slot in the league, just behind Endor. You got Canas. I think Canas is actually one of the more questionable second slots. I think they're a solid player. They have a good record in Mushi, but I'm not sure how involved they are with the tier or how active they are. So a bit of a question mark there. Next Hawk, he had a fantastic season on the Swanky. I actually forget. He went like 6-0 or something like that. 7-0, 6-0. Yeah, no, 6-0. They didn't make playoffs. Maybe 5-0. I just remember he ended Luigi's run. Luigi was having a fantastic season. But yeah, Nexor, fantastic player. Maybe he needs to switch up his style a bit, with Umbreon on every game. Maybe some games where he runs offense to keep his opponents on their feet would help him a lot, I think. Machungla, I know they play like other tiers, ADV lower tiers. Don't know too much about the ADV. I think they're new to the tier. Maybe they should have, Mushi Council should have started him off at 1.5, but it's whatever. Churilix, the Spanish-speaking DPT player, don't know too much about them. Yeah, FJ2K, 1.9 stars. Who knows if this guy will play his games this season. Ghostfall, another Spanish speaker. I'm surprised at 1.5 stars, they're actually not bad at the game. But they have massive bats of them AFK, so I think what might happen is they play for a while, they improve, they win games, they leave, they come back a couple months later and they've forgotten how to play again. It might be a vicious cycle. Don't know too much about Damflame. Thunderous Bagel, I love his art. He's a funny guy, chill guy. King of Iron Trees at 1.35 stars. He pulled off a legendary 0-6. I don't know what kind of terrorism he was pulling off on the Swankies, but here we are with King of Iron Fist, second bottom slot. He's a lot better than that. I know for a fact he's better than this. I'm sure he'll climb up notably this season. And Yomoshi. Yomoshi's record is very harsh. He got hacked pretty hard in his games last season. I think he may be the strongest bottom slot in the entire league. So, best of luck to him. Onto the A tier. We have the Slackers. So Colin, solid top slot. Coltio, he's a funny guy. Then you got Icy's a solid player. He does seem very AFK, but when he plays he wins, so I mean you get a 3.1 star rating by accident. Society, don't know too much about their gameplay. I know they got banned from, well, they had like a whole scandal on Smogan for their something very stupid. Big Will's a solid player. I know they're playing like all the Smogan tours that get picked up like every time. Shadow Time, I'm not even exaggerating. This guy's a waste of a pick. I don't know why they bothered buying him. Unless he got like auto drafted to them, but I don't think that was the case. Gold is actually very good at the game. 1.8 stars. He's a bargain for this value. Janice, he was a rookie last season. I think he's a great player. I think he can definitely go positive this season. Notably, I think last season he had 2 games where he won the games, but he just like completely lost his composure because of defensive Jirachi. Like it's his kryptonite. But the moment he figures out how to defeat it, I think he's gonna go. The sky's the limit for him. Ryo Yamada, she's very good. The thing was last season, like she was fixating on using specific teams that I don't think she was too great at using. And to be fair, Mushi League is the place for learning, so I mean you can't really fault her for that. Culture, I don't know what this man is doing at 1.5 stars, but I'm sure he's better than that. Silver Mason, Gold's brother. I've seen him play. He's actually not bad at the game. His revival game was very funny though. And I even saw a game on ladder where he was facing Forte at like the mid 1500s, and he was actually playing very well. He was about to win, but then he got crit, and then it all went down the drain. But given how recently he started playing, if he's already playing at the high 1500s, that's a pretty promising sign. And then you got Heron, I don't know how you pronounce it. I know they're involved with revival, running it, and if they engage with a tier, I'm sure they can go on a good run. Also, it's pretty crazy that his team has no players below 1.5 stars. And we got 2 3 stars at the top. Seems like we have a lot of money for some reason. Then we have the Swampers, the N-Birds, run by Spreek and Duke. This is probably my favorite team in the entire league. I think both the managers are fantastic. I think they're both amazing players. I think Spreek is one of the best players in the league. Duke is one of the rising stars of the league as well. Both get picked up like everything at this point already. I think they've both played ADVPL and ROAPL already. I think Duke might not have played ROAPL. I could be wrong on that, but I know he's got picked up for like ADPL as well. So like these guys, these guys are hot product. And then they retained Yerb as well, who went on a crazy rampage last season. He went like 7-0. I think him and Umberto were the only undefeated players last season. Just insane players. We're going to Void. Void's a great player. He played in Invitational. Was it this time or last time? He might have played both. I actually can't remember off the top of my head. Cactu had a fantastic season last season. He's 2.8 stars now. Getting very high. Spreek, already said, I think he's one of the best players in the league. Duke, he's also a fantastic player. And these two, last season in Jirachi's, they're helping out everyone. Massive thank you to these guys. And I'm sure they'll help their teammates out too. Artie. Artie just makes me laugh. I don't know why. He always does this funny stuff. Like when he's talking about how he played on the 3 worst Mushi League teams in history in a row. Like he went Monday Muppet Mashes, and then into the low tads on their worst season. I mean, it's just tragic. But you're finally on a good team, Artie. Your luck has finally come around. Mint, fantastic player. He does all these beautiful drawings. I really love the substitute doll, especially. I really like this one. The app, I don't know too much about app. Veyun can actually play, but he doesn't prep, which is like actually quite a major issue. But hold on, ignore what you just saw. But yeah, it's a major issue for a captain that wants to play the self prep and whatnot. But if you give him good teams, like if you look at his scout for him and try to get good matchups for him, if you manage to get a neutral or good matchup and you explain his team to him as well, you have to do quite a lot of work with him. And then he can get some wins on the board. Then you got Tetrafolium, makes very nice YouTube videos. I love the Pseudo Udo one especially. 1.5 stars. When you're that engaged with a tier, I'm sure you'll do well. And VZR, I believe he's 1 star. And he's been playing a lot recently, so he's back into the flow of things. And I think this is the season where he can have a glow up. Then we got the Hunt Hills. Who could have seen this come? You got Jabba in the top slot. Solid player. If he'll actually play his games, who knows. Otto, fantastic player. He's climbed up quite high now, 2.8 stars. I don't know too much about TLTK. 2.65 stars. Ooze, 2.25 stars. Solid player. I faced them in Old Money semi-finals? Yeah, I think I did, yeah. Very close games. George is a solid player. We made ADV Cup finals last year, or this year? Yeah, last year. 3. I didn't actually realize this guy was that good, but when I saw that he like went like 40-1 or something on the suspect test, I was like, damn, this guy knows how to play. Don't know too much about Wavish. Lowry seems nice. Haven't seen her play or him play. Lubloom, solid player. 1.4 stars. I'm sure they can do better than this, and you know they have all these wonderful drawings and art pieces they do. I really like them. Keep on making them Lubloom. And yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I think this team was actually meant to be behind the Swampbirds, and I just forgot to switch the order around. But yeah, I'm pretty sure the Emperors were meant to be ahead of these guys. But yeah, just bear that in mind. Then you have the Flock. Now they just drafted a roster of like so many guys they've already had before, which is like fair enough. You know, that's their vibe. You know, they know what they like. Panther at 2.8 stars rating is a great player, is a great builder, is a great guy. I'm sure in terms of captains, you know, I think he's like top 3, top 4 in Mushi League history undoubtedly. You got B-Hole, Bowl. I mean, Bowl's really funny. I mean, I think he really there's two bits to Mushi. There's the competitive side, right, and then there's the whimsical side. I think B-Hole, he captures the whimsical side perfectly. I love it. Zach P said, there's question marks with him, right? If you look at his records in the seasons, he either does fantastic or he does dog shit. So we'll have to see which way he goes this season. I think last season he had a good season, so maybe I've already seen the result for week 1, so I think I might know which way it's leaning already. Cyber Odin, 2.65 stars. Now this guy can be insanely good if you can get him not to reload teams. Now whether Panther can do that, I have no clue. But if he does manage it, I think he could potentially go undefeated, especially in the 3rd slot. I think he's top slot worthy. You got Slam on Barbecue. He's a solid player. Uses heat teams. B-Hole. I'm surprised he's 2 stars. Because, like, you know, he swears not to use, like, Skarmory or Bliss. And he's a higher rating than me. How's he manages? But, you know, fair play to you, B-Hole. You know, you live by your ideals and you're still doing well. Max, he's a decent player. 1.9 stars. Zed, solid player. Great YouTube content. I watch his streams, like, every week now. SDJ, I believe that's the melee player. Don't know too much about how much they actually play the tier. Corvinus. So Z-Panther actually tutored Corvinus, and Panther had nothing but good things to say about him. Said he improved considerably on the ladder in a short time, and now they're on the same team too. So you know you got the boost, the bonus. King Raska. I think I've known of them since like Revival 1. Nice person. Can't recall too much about their gameplay, but Tech Savage too, I can't recall too much about their gameplay either. But I feel like they've been on the block before, so you know they'll have block boost this time, and I think they'll win some games. Then we got the Raving Raticates. So this team has a very top slot, you know, top half lineup. Very, very strong actually. You got Umberto, he has like the best record in Mushi League history now by the numbers. Not the most wins, but like best win percentage I believe of people who played any decent amount of games. So, and he also went undefeated last season. So Umberto is an unreal player. He's improved so much in such a short period of time. Like in 1 year, he's already like, you know, this good. Then you have Nala in the 2nd slot. 2.6 stars, fantastic player. Okay, sorry, I had to I did say something. Yeah, so Null, 2.6 stars, 2.6 stars. He's one of the best players in the league, in my opinion. I remember in ADVPL, he's even smacking around Empo. You know, he's got a knack for building now. Great player, great builder, great person, fantastic, person to pick up. Blaze is an amazing player. She's only limited by the dog shit team building that she does sometimes, but she's very good at playing and she's really supportive, even if she does have some really bad pace sometimes. X-Gang is a solid player. He's 2.3 stars. Did not too much to say about him. H greater than L. Very decent player. Had him on the Jirachis last season. Sophocles, he's a funny guy, solid player. He does use some goofy stuff. I remember not too long ago I was playing on playing ladder and I was in the mid 1700s. And I ran into Soph who was similar rating. And he was running Smurgle Virgin 5. So I'm not sure what he's up to, but it's quite evil. Then you have Mantis. 1.75 stars. He's a funny guy, I like him. Nice to talk to. Panama. I really wanted Jumpy to grab Panama. The thing is, Panama's the kind of guy that you need to just give teams and just tell him what to do, and he'll just kind of do it. His execution is questionable. But yeah, I'm not sure how he'll do on this team. No Reams, I don't know how good they are. Stuki no Miko from 1.1 stars, you can only go up. But yeah, this team has an extremely strong top 6 players. On to the last. And by last, I mean team at the top. We have Solrox. The Santa Loon Solrox. Some people are exaggerating how good this team is, talking about super team and whatnot, but I don't think it's that strong. I don't think it's that crazy. I think, in fact, this team is basically the same as Veraticates in terms of strength. Mielke, fantastic player. He helped prep for SPL. He won ADVPL as a captain. Wait, was he the captain? Well, he's basically the captain, I think. But yeah, Mielke, very good player. John Ord, of course, very good player. I think he played in some final, yesterday or something, against Scarfram. I'm not gonna lie, I didn't even watch it. I don't know what the result was, but he got to a final. Obviously he's a very good player. I think he had a solid run in ADVPL too, and he's put he's put really strange feats on the ladder. He's topped ladder of Kingler. He figured out this random bullshit like endless battle poses and whatnot. And yeah, the top 2 are extremely strong. I think they're both going to go notably positive. Kinga Ursu, I find it a bit hard to gauge their skill, but they maintain a high ranking. They're a decent player. Ty Carter, he's a solid player. He he qualified for the ADV ladder tour recently, so clearly he knows a bit of all about ADV. Forte, solid player. I think he's a draft main. He beat me in Invitational play-ins. That was a bit painful. Stormcrow's a nice guy. 1.9 stars. He's a solid player. Marshy, just abysmal dog shit, man. Fuck this guy. Red Crimp, he had a nice showing in Revival 2, I believe it was. Or was it Revival 1? I think it was Revival 2. But yeah, plays decent back then, 1.8 stars. They can keep going up. Don't know too much about Scarlet, Kira UBD, don't know too much about them. I think UBD, Yamoshi's in that clan as well. Maybe just a Spanish-speaking person. And Reiner. Reiner beat Just in one of the funniest matches I've seen in a long time. You guys need to watch that when that goes into the YouTube Revival channel. That's one of the best games, for sure. And yeah, that's about it. So please leave a like, subscribe, and comment below.